Hey y'all, how you doing? This is your girl Tysheen. How you feeling today? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing great. So I'm gonna be reacting to 10 British, top 10 British stores that don't exist anymore. Maybe I might be familiar with some of these stores. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, because certain stores we will have it here in America. Depends on the state. Like here in New York, there's certain stores that we have, certain stores we don't have. So yeah. So let's just get started.
The most. Number 10, Virgin Megastores. Richard Branson has branched out into many different industries over the years, not in the least broadband and transportation, but he also opened a chain of retail units in the 1970s, beginning as a record shop and expanding across the UK. But though it operated fairly well for decades, the UK arm was sold off and rebranded as Zavvi in 2007. You're probably still familiar with Zavvi, as it still exists as a solely online retailer and has done for years. But it went into administration in 2008, forcing the company to sell all its locations to HMV. Maybe the idea of a physical record shop is outdated, since we all know HMV has come close to bankruptcy itself more than once. Number 9.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, this is a whole new generation. A lot of people not into, they don't make those things anymore. You could download your music now and books and all that other stuff. I'm surprised some of these bookstores are still hanging on because, people starting to download books offline, or I should say order their books online. So yeah. But Virgin Store, we had one here in New York, I believe. Of course they're not around.
9, Thorntons.
At Thorntons, we put a lot of love, passion and care into all we do.
After over a century of trading, beloved chocolatier Thorntons became yet another shop unable to cope with the coronavirus pandemic. The constant lockdowns reduced sales so significantly that by March 2021, it was announced that all the physical shops would be closing, with the business shifting to be entirely online. It's sad that you can't drop into Thorntons to buy last-minute Christmas gifts or an extremely lavish personalised Easter egg anymore, but you can still buy Thorntons' trademark delicious chocolates on the website. But the closure did still cause the loss of 600 jobs when its locations were shuttered. Number 8.
I love chocolate. I'm obsessed with chocolate. I eat a lot of chocolate. I must eat chocolate every day, even though I'm not supposed to, but I can't help myself. Oh my God. My great-grandmother, she loved chocolate. Her favorite chocolate to eat every day was Kiss. That was her favorite, because she used to always send me to the store to get her a bag of Kiss chocolate. That was her favorite. But yeah, I love chocolate, but I like dark chocolate more than milk chocolate. Like, dark chocolate is my favorite chocolate.
It's Comet.
That's Comet sense.
It was once one of the UK's foremost locations for white goods and other electrical appliances. Everything from fridges to televisions to computers could be bought here, and it traded quite successfully for almost 90 years. That all changed when the business collapsed in 2012. It had already been struggling financially for decades by this point, being purchased multiple times in the 2000s, including once for the whopping price of £2.
Our prices aren't that low, but it's hard to find lower. That's Comet sense.
Those £2 apparently weren't well spent, because less than a year after the sale, the company was firmly in administration. It barely took a month for the stock to be liquidated, though Comet has since re-emerged as an online retailer in 2020.
Wow. I wonder why they were struggling. I mean, I'm quite sure probably competition. There had to be some type of competition going on around. Somebody was giving, I guess, better quality, better price, something. That's crazy. And it was around that long. I wonder why people wasn't buying stuff from them. Wow.
Number 7, Debenhams. This well-known department store.
I just thought about it. Amazon. I forgot. Website. There's different stores on, Of course, yeah. Nobody don't really physically shop like they used to. Everybody does stuff online.
Had a branch in every city, which ultimately proved to be its undoing. Throughout the 2010s, it became clear that fewer and fewer people were going to department stores. They were huge, expensive, and most of the products could be found easier and cheaper online, not to mention the impact of the pandemic on retail stores. Though Debenhams tried to stay afloat by closing underperforming branches, it wasn't enough, and by the end of 2020, every Debenhams location had shuttered for good. Many of the former units still stand empty in town centres. Debenhams still exists online, however, with many of the same products you'd expect. Number 6.
I mean, like I said, I mentioned it before. Everything is online, and there's so many competition. Like Amazon being the #1 online store, you could get anything you want. You get it from Amazon, eBay, and there's plenty of other websites. If you want anything, that's, you know. So that's why I don't understand how some of these stores are. Some of these stores are still hanging on. I'm not sure how long they're gonna be hanging on, but
6. Phones for you.
everything's online.
Their adverts were so memorable that you may think you've seen them a lot more recently than you have. In actuality, the company entered administration in 2014 when 2 of the UK's biggest telecom companies, Vodafone and EE, decided not to renew their contracts. It was sad, especially when the company had such creative commercials, but the business has since been replaced by handler-specific stores and car phone warehouses.
Phones for you, for less, Apple for you.
Whether you're Scottish, Welsh or English, and you want to own a phone, is that your wish?
The CEO didn't take the closure line down, however, directly blaming mobile phone carriers for putting him out of business. But we still see that notorious ghost girl when we try to sleep every night. Did missing phones for you's deals haunt EE?
Hello, the Samsung Toco icon is only $59.95 on Pay As You Go.
I remember that commercial. I react to it. That is scary. That is scary. Now I see why they didn't really show it too much on TV, but yeah, I react to that video, so go check it out.
5. JJB Sports. Well-known brand JJB Sports went under in 2012 following years of poor trading and mounting debts. Debts so significant, they reduced the company's value from £500 million to a meager £1.2 million. The problem was that the company got much too big too quickly, with 2007's new CEO deciding to make non-stop acquisitions. These acquisitions turned out to be very poorly timed as, of course, only a year on, we were plunged into the Great Recession. In the end, Mike Ashley decided to buy up JJB Sports and bring it under the Sports Direct brand. Thankfully, this saved hundreds of jobs, though many more couldn't be rescued. Number 4, Game Station.
Game Station?
Once upon a time, there were 2 places you could go to buy games in the UK, Game and Game Station. There is of course CEX as well, but it's not quite the direct competitor to Game. Game Station on the other hand was, which is why Game decided to buy up its competition in 2007. It continued to trade under the Game Station name for a while, creating the illusion of choice among consumers. But 5 years on and the brand was dead, leaving Game the last man standing.
Then go to Game Station, you ninny, and pay less for top-notch games.
It's not clear why trade watchdogs didn't stop this, since Game has enjoyed almost no competition on the high streets ever since. But they didn't, and Game Station is no more. Toys R Us.
There's a magical place, we're on our way there, with toys in the millions all under one roof. It's called Toys R Us.
Though this is an American retailer, Toys R Us had a very dramatic closure when it shut all of its UK locations in 2018. Long a go-to retailer for toys of all varieties, it seemed that eventually a toy shop of this size was unsustainable. With the rise of online shopping, parents could avoid the stressful in-person visits and long queues. Thousands of jobs were lost when the chain couldn't find a buyer and ceased trading, while millions of pounds in the red. Everybody could tell the retailer had been on the rocks for years, but the North American branches were struggling as well, and the UK arm ended up sinking completely. There goes those childhood memories.
It's called Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us.
Number
Yeah, mostly all the Toys R Us here in America is closed down. We had a big one here in the city. They had I remember that one. That was, I'm trying to remember if it was on 42nd Street or 14th Street. One of those streets, I don't remember. But what I remember, it was huge. It had different floors. And they had a ride. They had one of those, what you call it? Those merry-go-round rides inside of Toys R Us. I would never forget because I took my daughter there. But yeah.
Number 2, BHS. British Home Stores was an extremely popular department store that ruled the British High Street since 1928. But despite how beloved the brand was, it couldn't be saved from the poor management of the UK's most infamous business magnate, Philip Green. Green's been in the news plenty of times for running businesses into the ground, and BHS was perhaps his most high-profile failure. It was eventually bought from Green's Arcadia Group for £1, big spenders, but in 2016 it fell into administration. Nobody was bold enough to buy the chain and save it, and it crumbled. It was a very upsetting end for what was previously one of the UK's best shops. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here's some honourable mentions. Mothercare. By 2020, people had stopped wanting to spend a premium on baby clothes and toys. Borders. This huge bookshop chain gave its business to its competitors and went bankrupt.
Oh yeah, we had Borders here.
Blockbuster.
We had Borders here too, but I haven't seen Borders here in I don't know about other states, but here in New York, I haven't seen them in a while. We had Borders. Wow, I forgot about that store. Wow.
Just like in the US, Blockbuster UK couldn't survive the rise of streaming.
No, couldn't.
Thomas Cook. Over 500,000 tourists were left stranded abroad when Thomas Cook went under. Dixon's. The company rebranded in 2006 and all Dixon stores became Currys. Number 1, Woolworths.
We haven't got a toaster. Wooly, nip down to Woolworths and get a toaster from their new Worth It value range.
Many people in the UK will have fond childhood memories of visiting Woolworths to buy.
I remember Woolworths. Wait, I think we had one here in New York, if I'm not... We had one. I remember this store as a kid though, but they been closed down though. That was like... They been closed down. They closed down in the 90s. Yeah.
Buy, pick and mix, and get their back-to-school things. But tragically, Woolies went out of business in 2008. The British public suffered a loss many have not yet recovered from, as Woolworths was...
So yeah, I was kind of close. I remember they closed down in the late 90s. Wow.
One of the first casualties at the 2008 global financial crash. Its closure really hit people hard, though it did briefly return as an online retailer. It was also particularly difficult for the former staff, many of whom had worked in Woolworths for years before the bankruptcy. Woolworths' closure was so impactful that 12 years later, there was even a hoax claiming it was coming back. Ouch. Do you agree?
Yeah, I remember that store when I was a kid though, but I remember it being closed down like in the late 90s. It was closed down, but I remember that store. I just don't remember every detail. I don't remember what they were selling in that store. I just remember the name, because I think I have a picture when I was a kid. I wish I could find it. If I could find it, I'll try to put it right here. But it was a picture of me as a kid standing right in front of it. But I don't remember what they were selling in the store. I think they sell like electronic stuff and stuff like that. Yeah. Wow. But in the UK, it was closed. He said it was closed down in 2008. So basically they were slowly closing down everywhere around the world. Yeah, Woolworth. I remember that store. yeah, so some of these stores we had here too, they closed down. They wasn't making money, but like I said, we live in a new generation where everything is online. You know, anything you want to buy, you could just click a button and buy whatever you want to buy online. It's more convenient now than ever, you know. And plus, you could buy stuff for really cheap, you know, because there's a lot of competition out there. So, you know, so a lot of people don't really physically go to stores like they used to. And plus, a lot of these stores don't be having a lot of stuff that you want. So that's why people go online. But this was fun. I will definitely be doing more of this. So if there's a video you would like me to react to, comment below and I will check it out. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So go down there and subscribe if you want to see me react more of these type of videos. And also check these videos right here. Check them out. And I'll see you lovely people. Take care of yourself. Bye and